from group number 1. So for today's vlog, it's a special presentation for our ADS504 Malaysian economics subject. So today we are going to dive deep into a sector that acts as a vital heartbeat for our nation's economic growth, the tourism industry. So before we look at the numbers, let's unpack two critical macroeconomic concepts: gross domestic product (GDP) and national income. GDP represents the total market value of all final goods and services produced within our border in a year. Tourism sits under the services sector, so when foreign tourists visit Malaysia and exchange their foreign currency for ringgit, it is counted as an export services, directly boosting our national income. Why is it so important? Because of the multiplier effect. One tourist dollar doesn't just go to a hotel. It trickles down to a local restaurants, transport providers, retail shops, and street vendors, generating a wave of economic activity across the country.
To understand where we are today, we have to look back at the dark era of the COVID-19 pandemic. Before 2020, Malaysia tourism was in its golden age, contributing roughly 50.9% to our GDP via the gross value added of tourism industry. In fact, the government was ready to launch the massive Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign. But when March 2020 hit, the world stopped. National borders were shut, movement control orders were enforced, and the tourism sector collapsed overnight. Hotel occupancy dropped to a single digit, airlines were grounded, and more than 800,000 workers in the hospitality and aviation sector faced layoff, pay cuts, or unpaid leave. Billions of ringgit were wiped out from our national income, severely dragging down Malaysia's overall economic growth and showing just how vulnerable our economy is when a major service sector shut down.
It's been a tough 2 years, to say the least, for Malaysia's tourism industry. The COVID-19 pandemic and protracted lockdowns have brought the industry to its knees.
Now that the pandemic is behind us and borders are wide open, you might think everything is perfect. However, from an economic standpoint, the Malaysian tourism industry is facing several major structural challenges that we need to address for our ADS504 analysis. First, human capital flight brain drain. During the pandemic, skilled hospitality workers like experienced chefs, hotel managers, and also licensed tour guides left the industry. Many shifted to the gig economy or other corporate sectors. Today, the industry faces an acute shortage of skilled labor, which compromises service quality. Second, the fierce regional competition. Malaysia is in a tight race with neighbors like Thailand and Indonesia. Thailand, for example, has been incredibly aggressive with relaxed visa policies and entertainment tourism. Malaysia sometimes struggles to match this due to the strict local regulatory frameworks and bureaucratic hurdles. Third, the digital divide in rural tourism. Modern tourists demand a seamless, cashless, and highly digital experience, what we call smart tourism. While major cities are caught up, many micro-enterprises and eco-tourism operators in rural areas still lack the digital infrastructure and training to tap into global booking algorithms.
Thankfully, the Malaysian government did not just sit back. To retrieve national income and rebuild our GDP, Ministries of Tourism, Art and Culture alongside with federal government roll out a strategies macroeconomic intervention. The first one is National Tourism Policy 2020 to 2030. This is a long-term blueprint focusing on sustainable tourism, eco-tourism preservation, and smart tourism 4.0 technologies to make our destination marketing data-driven. Second is aggressive visa liberalizations. To lower entry barriers, Malaysia introduced highly successful visa-free entry initiative for massive tourism sources market like China and India. This policy dramatically increased flight frequencies and direct air connectivity. Lastly is the Visit Malaysia 2026. This is ultimate economic game changer. The government has put a massive fiscal backing behind this campaign, setting an ambitious target to attract 43 million international tourism and generate 329 billion in tourism receipt. This massive promotional push is actively pulling foreign currency back into our local circulation.
Un aplauso para mami y papi, porque en verdad rompieron.
Argentina. I come from Turkey. Probably the KL Tower was really nice, and the food from Malaysia it's really good.
Which one have you tried the food?
Oh, the nasi
Lemak?
lemak.
Nasi,
Yeah,
is it good?
really good.
Is it spicy?
Spicy, yeah, but I like spicy.
Different culture, different food, different cuisine. So interesting for us.
Yeah,
A very good country.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a really green city, so that's really nice.
Okay, do you notice the difference with your country?
Oh,
Or
actually,
is it the same?
my country has a lot of parks too.
Oh.
But I've been in other places that you don't see too much green around the city.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Good nature. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Have you tried the LRT, MRT, the monorail?
Just public transportation.
Public transportation. I see. Okay.
We don't know because we use Grab every time. We don't use the other
Public transport.
transport.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think it's pretty affordable because I came from Australia, and that's way much expensive.
Nice.
More average and more, not expensive.
In terms of food and beverage or shopping.
Shopping is okay, but food I think expensive because every time every time we pay tax.
Yeah.
Everything.
Service tax, right?
The other countries we don't see this thing. Only Malaysia.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that's all from
But
us.
taxis are very cheap, I think.
Yeah.
Grab
Yeah.
also.
Very cheap.
And it's easy to use
Yeah,
the apps,
it's
right?
easy.
application, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for
Okay,
having
no
us.
problem.
I think that's all from us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
In this section, we are going to use a strict cause and effect framework. We will examine the four primary dimensions of the tourism ecosystem: environment, infrastructure, culture, and economy, by unpacking how deep-seated structural issues translate directly into heavy macroeconomic implications for our nation. Let's jump straight into our first dimension. Let's begin with environment. The root issue here is over-tourism combined with a critical lack of carrying capacity enforcement. Malaysia is blessed with rich biodiversity, but our primary mistake is treating these fragile ecosystems as infinite resources. Local authorities rarely enforce strict visitor caps during peak seasons, and weak environmental monitoring allows commercial operators to encroach illegally on protected lands just to build quick accommodations. Now, what is the direct implication of this issue? It leads to severe irreversible environmental degradation. When hundreds of thousands of visitors flock to fragile sites like the marine parks of Sipadan or the mossy forest of Sabah, local waste management systems collapse under the strain. We see massive water pollution from island resorts dumping untreated waste and rapid soil erosion from hill clearing. From an economic perspective, destroying our natural assets means we are depleting our primary capital. Once an ecosystem loses its pristine value, its long-term economic attractiveness drops to zero, permanently damaging our future tourism revenue.
Let's move on to infrastructure. The glaring structural issues in Malaysia is the urban-rural divide and digital infrastructure deficit. While our primary gateway like KLIA and urban transit systems in Kuala Lumpur are world-class, our secondary and tertiary rural destinations are heavily neglected. Many ecotourism sites and homestays lack reliable electricity grids, waste utilities, and 5G connectivities. In an area where global travelers rely heavily on smart tourism, such as cashless payment and real-time digital booking, our rural entrepreneurs are completely locked out of the global market. The implications of this infrastructure bottleneck is twofolded: severe localized strains and fiscal division during holiday sessions, and influx of visitor causes massified traffic gridlock, water shortage, and utility disruption in historic or rural towns, ruining the quality of life for local residents. For broader Malaysia economy, this forces the government to prematurely accelerate public development expenditure to upgrade utilities and roads to just cope with temporary peak tourist season. This misallocation diverts critical, limited fiscal resources away from long-term national development sectors like healthcare or public education.
Our third aspect covers culture. The fundamental issue here is the over-commercialization and gentrification of Malaysia's multicultural heritage. To chase the tourist dollar, marketing agencies offer reduced sacred cultural traditions and indigenous lifestyles into superficial, state-managed performances. More alarmingly, as heritage zones like Georgetown or Malacca become highly commercialized, property values and rental rates skyrocket. This brings us to a devastating cultural implication, which is cultural commodification and the displacement of local communities. Traditional artisans, multi-generational local residents, and authentic local shops can no longer afford the inflated rents. They are forced to move out and are rapidly replaced by corporate franchises, westernized cafes, and generic souvenir shops. When the local community is displaced, the authentic living culture fabric of the destination is permanently destroyed. We are left with a fake, superficial version of history that eventually loses its appeal to high-value international travelers who crave authenticity.
Finally, let's dissect the economic dimension, which is the absolute core of our ADS504 evaluations. The primary structural issue are Malaysia's historical high volume, low yield model, and a massive economic leakage. For decades, our national strategy focused heavily on the quantity of tourist arrival rather than the quality of their spending, resulting in a low average spending per capita. Furthermore, a huge chunk of tourist expenditures leak out of Malaysia to foreign-owned multinational hotel chains, international airlines, and foreign online booking platforms like Agoda or Booking.com. diluting the net benefit to our domestic national income. When we map these issues out, they trigger four massive macroeconomic implications. First, visitor volume influence inflation. When a massive wave of mass tourists floods a specific locality, aggregate demand for food, transportation, and housing skyrocket overnight. This triggered localization inflations, driving up everyday commodity prices and restaurant food. While businesses profit temporarily, regular Malaysian citizens earning fixed local wages are priced out of their own towns due to this eroded purchasing power. Burden in cost of maintenance, restorations, preservation and conservation. Mass tourism accelerates the wear and tear of our national icons. Upkeeping historical monuments, national parks, and public facilities require constant, heavy financial funding. This creates a massive budgetary burden on municipal council and the federal government, as millions of ringgit from national tax revenue must be diverted just to maintain and conserve this site.